During at local.com, we're at the first of the town hall meetings that Congressman Jim Hines has had in the wake of his trip out to Afghanistan here in Stamford at the University of Connecticut. What did you learn tonight that you did not hear before?
Well, you know, I heard two things that are a little surprising and a little gratifying, and I guess they're related things. And the thing that I heard that was really amazing was the room was fairly united behind the idea that we collectively have not sacrificed enough, that we have not been asked to contribute to the war. Now, there were people here who agreed and who disagreed with the president on the war, but pretty much everybody agreed that we got off, that an awful lot of us didn't have to see our taxes go up, didn't contribute to our kids, you know, and there was a very interesting sense in the room that we as individuals, every American needs to be more a part of whatever it is we decide to do. That was a pretty amazing thing. I saw people in there call for an increase in taxes to fund the war. You know, I'm not sure I would have predicted that that would happen.
Well, you heard people also ask for selective service.
Yeah, a couple of people asked for that, and so that's money and people, right? No, I mean, it was gratifying. You know, it was also very civil, very constructive, very good. Obviously, people feel very strongly about this, but people are expressing their opinions in really constructive ways.
You've got three more of these meetings, one in Southport tomorrow, then one in Richfield, and one in Trumbull on Saturday. What are you possibly going to hear differently than what you've heard tonight?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, you saw what happened in the room when I asked who supported, who opposed. It was about 50-50, and I think that's probably going to be true around the district. But look, every time we do one of these things, I learn something. It was a big part of my healthcare town halls. I learned a lot in those, and actually it influenced how I contributed to that legislation. And so I can never predict what I'm going to learn. I can't predict what we heard today, so we'll see.
Now, so many of your colleagues in both the House and the Senate have such firm ideas on virtually everything. To come in and say, I don't have all the answers, is a rather unusual way to deal with subjects.
Well, you know, like I said tonight, my job is to be a representative. And if I walk into a room full of my constituents and say, I know the answer, what's the point of them being in the room? And the point of them being in the room is to guide me on what they want. That's certainly what I sought to do in healthcare, and that's what I'm trying to do here.
After all is said and done, after all these meetings are held, what do you think is going to be the end result as far as you're concerned?
What is going to happen, barring dramatic change from where we are, is that the Congress will vote to fund the president's plan. The Republican Party will probably support it lock, stock, and barrel, and the Democrats will split. That is a very substantial majority in favor of funding the president's plan. Could things happen? Could the population rise up and say we don't want this war? It could happen if we saw, you know, dramatic casualties, but right now the momentum in Congress is behind funding the president's plan.
Your very clear point that might change some minds is that 120,000 of men and women from this country and $100 billion a year. That's serious treasure as well as humanity.
$100 billion a year is more than the healthcare reform will cost, and so we should devote as much attention and diligence to thinking about that as we do the healthcare.
Congressman Jim Hines, thanks very much for being with us.
Yep.